everyone, how are y'all doing? I just got back from Disney World.
Eventually, you just have to say bye, right? I mean, you can't grieve forever.
And I made a friend while I was gone. Actually, I made several friends, but he's the only one that I can actively wear or take with me at my own command.
Whoa! Oh no, the child fell off.
This is the channel where we're not like the other girls. We are not normal. So come and join us in our Disney loving antics. At this point, 90% of the people who are watching these videos weekly are not subscribed. So I know you're watching. I know you're not subscribed. We are in a great position to grow extremely quickly. If you just want to subscribe, we'd love to have you. Click that bell so that you know when a new video is arriving. We are today talking about Universal Studios and kind of comparing it to Cedar Point. If you haven't noticed, this channel has kind of morphed a little bit over the years into a channel that talks quite a bit about theme parks. Of course, I'm still reviewing all the Disney movies. The Little Mermaid has been being scripted for a while now, but this summer I have found a decent amount of success talking about theme parks.
Quick pro tip, that thing right behind me there makes it so that the line cannot be as long here. On the side, you can get into a few shorter lines.
And I got the amazing opportunity to go to Disney World and Universal Studios with a friend of mine who just happens to be a travel agent. If he wants me to, I will link his information right down here. And if he doesn't, then that part I just won't put in the video at all. He definitely knows Disney very well and loves to plan trips for people, so you should definitely hit him up. Also, while I was in Orlando and at Disney World, I met a little buddy, Meet the Child. He will be joining me for reviews from henceforward. We'll talk about how I met him later.
Whoa!
This is gonna be a part of like an 8-part series, so the child will come in toward the end. So let that suspense just marinate and you can find it out later. At the beginning of the season at Cedar Point, I was able to do a lot of rides, get a lot of rides accomplished. But as the year progressed and as things changed and the summer went along and people got more comfortable with the idea of going to Cedar Point, we ended up having a lot more people in the parks and getting to the point where you really can't do a whole lot at Cedar Point. So I've been there several times over 8-hour periods and only gotten 5 things done. So here's the challenge that I had. The first day that we got back, we had some tickets gifted to us to go to Universal Studios by a friend of ours. By the way, thank you very much if you're that friend. So we only had an hour and 45 minutes for us to do as much as we possibly could at Universal Studios.
We only have an hour and 45 minutes today for us to do whatever we want here at Universal. And we got some comp tickets, so that's why we're doing this. But we'll see if we can do even more stuff. If we can get more than 5 rides done.
5 is the goal, and a butterbeer.
And a butterbeer, I'm gonna be elated because that's way better than Cedar Point has been at all so far.
So here's the question. Can I do more at Universal Studios in 2 hours than I can do at Cedar Point during an entire 8-hour day? Stay tuned, the answer may surprise you. From Fort Wayne, Indiana, we took a flight to St. Petersburg, Florida, grabbed a rental car, took us over to Universal Studios. Now, on the way, we ended up hitting some crazy traffic. I got the bright idea that we could get a detour. We went all the way down, halfway down this road. They just had a pickup truck there across the road. I don't understand it at all. Still makes me mad. Moral of the story, you should always listen to Siri. Don't listen to this schlub. So we ended up only having 2 hours when we thought we were gonna have like 5 hours at Universal Studios to spend some extra time. As a child, my parents told my brother and I that we could have the option. Did we want to go to Disney and Universal Studios or just to Universal Studios. And we both, right away, like the rubes we were, said,
Disney is for babies. We need to go to Universal Studios.
Obviously, a lot has changed with me since then.
I feel like that was extremely creepy, and I'm kind of glad for it. The next year, my parents just forced us to go to Disney World, and I fell in love at that point. I love Universal Studios for what it is. It has only gotten better over the years. It was just like a blast of nostalgia. Now we come to the front of the park. Were we able to do more rides at Universal Studios than I am able to complete at Cedar Point? The first ride that we hit was Spider-Man. And I'm telling you what, guys, it has been years since I have been back to Universal Studios, and Spider-Man has not lost its charm at all. If there is one way that Universal Studios is different from Disney World, it's that Universal Studios is just packed with technology. Disney World does a lot more practical effects. Their competition is very healthy for both of them because they each just keep doing bigger and better projects. I'm not even gonna say one is better than the other because I clearly have a penchant for both. But Universal Studios rides are just very immersive in a whole different way because of how much they send you into the screen. All four of us guys were just amazed at how this ride makes you feel like you're falling. Man, what am I even trying to say? You're not even up against your seatbelt, like it's not even touching you. So obviously you're not even leaning forward, but you feel, for all intents and purposes, like you are falling face first down the side of a cliff. Go ride it, even though it is like 20 years old, and it has no business being as good as it is.
We got in and off of Spider-Man in about like 10 minutes, which is awesome.
As soon as we were off of that, really off of each of these rides, we were all discussing like, how did they do that? What did they do? It was really amazing. But then as we continued down the road, we saw some character experiences, which were really fun to see. Basically, the characters are always far away from you. This is part of like the COVID part of this video. As you're walking by, you could see Storm and you could see Spider-Man, both just within arm's distance, but kind of behind a gate and up on a stage. Where you could wave at them, take a picture with them, just take video as you walked by. It was a good character experience. It was fun. I don't really go to Universal for character experiences, but it was still an enjoyable experience at the theme park. Just to see them and have that like street ambiance there. Social distancing measures also on these rides kind of vary. For those of you who are a little bit worried, it's very similar to what Cedar Point does as far as the amount of space that you have between people. It's either usually in 6 feet increments or in 12-foot increments. You're never less than 6 feet away from the next group, even if they are next to you. But often the lines themselves will have like plexiglass, lines of plexiglass. I'm not sure how helpful all of this is, but either way, it's there, and it's something that we just need to deal with. There also were some rides, like the King Kong ride, where the King Kong ride had some plexiglass that was right behind us. So when I'm sitting in the seat itself, there is somebody right behind me in the seat right behind me. But there's this plexiglass shield in front of everybody so that whatever I'm doing in that space itself is fine. And I had a friend who said, well, I should be able to just take off my mask then. And yeah, that kind of seems to make sense to me, but I'm not gonna like try to enforce that for Universal Studios, you know, like that's their decision to make. Also, wearing the masks really wasn't an issue. We didn't really have enough time for shopping while I was at Universal Studios, so I just wore my old paper mask from a hospital. which I didn't really want to do because it's just not very stylish. But wearing these, once I did buy the Universal ones, these are really nice. Really, they don't have any issue. They're loose enough for you to be able to move around a little bit. The only thing I've found is now with teaching, they like to fall off my face a lot of times while I'm talking. Like, they will do that thing where they kind of move and fall down below my nose and then sometimes move a little bit further like this. That really frustrates me because then I'm constantly pushing it up. I really don't find any problem with the masks. And the guys that I was with, even though there were a few complaints here or there, they said it's really not too much of an issue. A little bit hot, but I mean, you can't blame the heat on the mask. After we got done with that, we went right into Comic Land. I don't really know if that's what they call it. Marvel Land, Comic Land. They're kind of connected. And then right into Jurassic World. And at Jurassic World, we rode the new King Kong ride. This ride reminded me so much of the earthquake ride that they had before. It was basically like a ride that talked about all of the special effects and that they could do in the pre-show was entirely about special effects in movies.
Over here on the left is a live action shadow proper in our soundstage.
This was years ago because I'm an old ass boomer. They talked about all of those old movie techniques. It was fascinating, at least for me as a 13-year-old. Probably wouldn't be fascinating to younger people today. I sound like such an old man. But it was very cheesy. Like, as I look back now in particular, there were a lot of practical effects that they used, which were great, but they were supposed to kind of make you feel afraid. Like, at one point, there was a truck that would fall down and would come toward your trolley because you were supposed to be on an underground, like a subway station basically. And as you look at it now, it's extremely cheese. It was very well done, especially for the time, but it wasn't very immersive. It was hard to make you feel like your life was actually in danger while you were on this ride. This new ride, of course, your life really isn't in danger, but they surround you with screens in a way that even it takes Spider-Man to a whole different level. And at one point they speed you up so you go really fast, or at least it feels like you go really fast, and everything around you is going by really fast. But of course they're on screens. So I have no idea how long that room is. I want to say it's like a huge long room and you drive down it really fast, which would be really cool. I have no idea how the mechanics work. The mechanics are so beyond me, how you can be in a continuous movement with other cars behind you also, and yet your car is always at times you stop and you're looking at a certain screen. I don't know. The whole thing is just beyond what I can comprehend. I've watched that ride. I try not to watch the rides when I'm away from Disney or Universal Studios because I don't want them spoiled for me. But eventually I start to just be like, man, I just wish I could go. And then I start to watch some of the rides. Well, I had no idea that this ride felt as immersive as it was. The experience watching it on YouTube is nothing like the experience of actually riding it. I can't explain it to you because it really does feel like you are moving at a breakneck speed, like your car really does speed up. And I know there's all kinds of different ways that they try to do that, but it's just, it was amazing. It was a great experience. The King Kong line itself is a marvel also to behold. You have to get into the King Kong line and just wait. Just wait in it. The lines move by quickly, but oh my word. I talked about how Disney has been stepping up their game to do more screens on their rides. Universal Studios has obviously been stepping up their game as far as animatronics go, because they have an animatronic in the line, just in the line for King Kong, that rivals anything that Disney has. It was one of my favorite things to film, and some of my friends with me were really making fun of me for it, because I love the scenery. The scenery in and of itself is the best. And they were like, oh my word, look, this line has trees in it. How amazing and true to form. Shut up.
That is a crazy good animatronic.
I legitimately feel like she has to be a real woman. I don't know how it's an animatronic. It is so well done. It's perfect for the atmosphere. So we got done with that ride and we moved on to Harry Potter. So we are now on our third ride of the day. And just let me tell you something, Harry Potter Land is incredible. However, I can't say for it that it's better in person than it is in the videos. Of course, it's better to be there in person. It wasn't like the illusion bending when I rode the new King Kong ride, which was completely outside of anything that I expected to experience. That being said, the Harry Potter rides themselves were beyond anything that I could have imagined. Our third ride was Harry Potter's Forbidden Journey. This ride just shattered all of my expectations. It seems as though it's a ride vehicle and ride itself that's very similar to Soarin', and yet it is so much more. Like, I can't even fully explain to you how much more it is. It is a moving vehicle, and that's all I'm gonna say. Because from there, it just blew my mind. So get on it and believe that magic exists. So at this point, we had 3 rides in and we had about 40 minutes left in the day. And we all wanted to get a butterbeer while we were at Universal Studios. So we went and got a butterbeer and then got in line for Hagrid's motorbikes. Butterbeer is excellent. Some of my friends were more taken by it than I was. I really like it a lot.
Surprisingly, not as sweet as I thought it would be. And that's a good thing. I didn't want it to be too sweet. It's perfect.
But for some reason, my foam wasn't really getting in my mouth. So I don't know if I literally need to take my teeth and just kind of grab some foam. Because the foam part is the part that makes it really good. It's like a butterscotch foam on top of a butterscotch soda, kind of. I don't quite know how to explain it to you, but you definitely need to try it. It is excellent. It wasn't the earth-shattering thing that some of my friends thought it was, at least not to me. But I still really liked it. I certainly would not begrudge even myself of it once again. If I go back, I will definitely be having some butterbeer. That's just a thing. We just need it. It's not alcoholic either, so we all could share it, which is a great thing. So already in 2 hours, when I usually get 5 rides done at Cedar Point, I was able to get 4 rides done for Universal Studios, which is just incredible. We got in line for Hagrid's motorbikes, and the line itself is just gorgeous. You can look out over the coaster. There were so many cool details. I don't even like Harry Potter. I've never really even watched the movies, but just seeing these sets and the way everything felt like you were really there, it was just so cool. Walking into the line itself and seeing the paintings that were talking to you. I, again, have no idea how they can make a picture that moves look so much like a painting. It truly boggles my mind. I suppose maybe they just used a filter on film of somebody And I guess I know how to do that. But oh my word, it looks so real. And so many of the paintings even are like, they're barely moving. And yet you'll see them blink, or you'll see like the sides of their mouth just kind of come up in just a little bit of like a sadistic smile. And it truly blew me away. Like everything about this 2 hours made up for all of that traffic that we had to sit in before. Overall, I did not get more rides done at Universal Studios in 2 hours than I would get at Cedar Point in 8. But, I mean, when you look at that average, you've got 4 rides in 2 hours versus 8 hours to get 5 rides done. Like, that is a great average. These lines flew by. But then Hagrid's motorbikes stopped working. So we'd gotten pretty close to the, I don't know, about the middle of the line probably, but we had to get out of the line. This trip was very, very worth it for me. I loved being there. And just to be able to talk about it again and to like relive it on these videos is worth it for myself even. And I really hope that you guys enjoy it also. By the way, if you do enjoy it, please hit the like button. And I would love it if you would subscribe. And I will talk with you guys again in another couple of weeks. You have a great day.